Marines investigating errant live fire blast over California's I-5. Artillery rounds also were launched over the freeway during a rehearsal for a demonstration attended by Vice President J.D. Vance and Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. The Marine Corps has begun an investigation into how an artillery shell exploded over Interstate 5 in California, raining down pieces of shrapnel as Vice President J.D. Vance and other top U.S. officials observed a military demonstration and supercharging a spat between the Trump administration and the state's Democratic governor. The shell was one of 6 launched Saturday from an M777 howitzer on a beach at Camp Pendleton, a major military installation bisected by the interstate, 2 defense officials said, speaking on the condition of anonymity because of the issue's sensitivity. The most likely cause for the detonation was a fuse failure, something Marine Corps leaders saw as a 1 in a million possibility before it occurred, the officials said. No one was injured in the incident, which occurred during a celebration marking the Marine Corps' 250th anniversary. The event also included beach landings by amphibious vehicles, helicopter flights, and Navy warships at sea. In addition to the Vice President, it was attended by Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Navy Secretary John Phelan and General Eric Smith, the Commandant of the Marine Corps. The unexpected detonation forced the Marines to halt the live fire portion of the demonstration. Shrapnel found on the ground was less than 1 inch in size. It left a dent in the hood of a California Highway Patrol car but caused no harm to any people in the vicinity, officials said. The round was launched by Echo Battery, 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, part of an infantry unit at Camp Pendleton, defense officials said. Its troops are assigned to the 11th Marine Expeditionary Unit, a specialized task force preparing to deploy next year. The investigation will be overseen by the 11th Marine Regiment, an artillery unit, with the commander of Camp Pendleton's 1st Marine Division, Major General Thomas B. Savage, reviewing the findings, defense officials said. The incident has spawned a tense dispute between Governor Gavin Newsom, D., and the Trump administration over whether the safety of California citizens was appropriately considered. Newsom, a frequent critic of President Donald Trump, on Sunday accused the president and the vice president of putting lives at risk to put on a show and said that if they want to honor U.S. troops, they should instead open the federal government, which has been partially shut down since October 1. White House officials referred questions about the incident to the Marine Corps. On social media, Trump's aides mocked Newsom's press office for misspelling the word ordnance in a post online. White House spokesman Stephen Chung said, too, that Newsom was dumber than a box of rocks, calling him so dense and moronic to the point he embarrasses himself on the daily. Trump's own social media posts frequently contain misspellings. Newsom had threatened to temporarily close the interstate but changed his mind after Marine Corps officials said they thought that no road closures were necessary and that appropriate safety precautions had been implemented. The governor later reversed course, shuttering a roughly 17-mile stretch of the roadway Saturday. Newsom's office said in a statement that it had done so after event organizers asked the California Department of Transportation to post a digital sign over the interstate during a rehearsal Friday night warning motorists that overhead live fire was in progress. Significantly more live artillery rounds were launched over Interstate 5 during Friday's rehearsal, defense officials said, with one estimating the number at 30. Newsom's office did not address why he did not shut down the roadway then, too, but said in its statement that state officials near Camp Pendleton had observed live munitions being fired near the freeway, an apparent practice run. Defense officials said the weapon involved, an M795 shell, weighing about 100 pounds, with an M767A1 fuse, is typically considered one of the most reliable in the U.S. military. The shells are approved to be launched over U.S. troops and are occasionally launched over roads and highways, including at Camp Pendleton, the defense officials said. However, they added, flights over Interstate 5 are rare. The maker of the fuse, L3 Harris, said in a statement Monday that it would be inappropriate to speculate on the cause of the incident. The company pledged to provide our full support if defense officials seek their help. The fuse involved is one of several that can be attached to the shell and launched. It was not clear whether there was a problem with the hardware or whether Marines had installed the fuse incorrectly. Like Newsom, California's 2 Democratic senators condemned the incident, calling it an unnecessary photo op. Senator Alex Padilla accused the White House of risking Californians' safety, arguing that firing live artillery over one of California's busiest freeways, without coordination with state officials, isn't a tribute to our Marines, it's a reckless threat. Senator Adam Schiff added, only in Pete Hegseth's Pentagon does this apparently need to be said, we should not be firing live artillery over our freeways. Officials with Hegseth's team could not immediately be reached for comment. One of the defense officials lamented that Marines spent weeks preparing for the demonstration, only for attention to be dominated by the errant detonation. The mishap, this official said, derailed all the good work put in to prepare.